what's really going to be the difference? Like during the pandemic,
they printed trillions of dollars.
But more people were laid off in our lifetime than ever before. They did print all this money, but are they not going to do the same thing?
No, they can't pop, and I'm saying it
like with absolute certainty.
Analyst. Yeah, like I'm an analyst. But it doesn't it seems like they shouldn't have done that the first time, because now it weakens the like if there's more money in circulation, of course everything goes up. And now that everything goes up, it's not like bread goes up and then bread goes down. It seems like when bread goes up, it goes up. When milk goes up,
it stays there. This is milk.
But now there's not as much money being printed.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who are in that situation before, now they just have to pay more for the things that they need.
So I think, especially for entrepreneurs, this is probably going to be a season where we have to really, we have to enter a season of collaboration, right? Like, how can we support each other through the economy? And just, for people who are not entrepreneurs or people who don't have consistent incomes yet, as an entrepreneur, this is your time to really, really, really analyze where you are in your life right now. Like, what expenses can you cut back on? Like, don't wait for the recession to come. By the time it gets here, typically it's too late.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast. Are you ready? Absolutely not. Listen, we are here and happy to serve you all yet again. Do yourself a favor. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the podcast. If you're listening, say you're watching this on YouTube, pull out your phone and follow Social Proof Podcast on Spotify and the Apple device. But if you're listening, make sure you're hitting the follow button on your app, but also go to YouTube and subscribe, man. Just tap in with us, man. So today, my baby's here, so I hope. Did you hear it? Can you hear her loud and clear? Really? Okay.
We have a special guest. It's okay.
Special guest. She's
Studio
in the building.
Audience.
Yo, recession time.
Recession time. So I think this is a topic that I think we have to graze carefully over this one, because you nor I know a whole lot about the recession from an analytical standpoint, like an expert level. We're not financial analysts or advisors whatsoever. However, we are both old enough to have experienced a recession before.
True.
Yeah. We're both old enough to have experienced a recession.
The recession was 2008-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember what happened in my life. But I don't remember being homeless, though. I remember I started working at the Cheesecake Factory 2005. Going into 2006, I was there for 6 years. So I worked at the Cheesecake Factory through the recession.
Mm-hmm.
You have to take that?
No, I'm pulling up the recession from that time. Stop it. I cannot.
So I remember working at the Cheesecake Factory through the recession. I don't remember my lights being cut off while I was working there. I don't remember no customers coming into the Cheesecake Factory either.
So my experience was very different. During that time, 2008 to 2010, I went into the recession making a lot of money. I was a realtor at that time, making a lot at that time, like $200-something thousand a year. And I wasn't saving any money though. And I did not have the financial acumen that I have now. And so the money that I was making, I was spending just as quickly, if not faster. Mm-hmm. And it felt like the recession happened overnight. It felt like one night we went to bed and then the next day we woke up and we were in the middle of a recession, which is why I think this conversation is so important, because there are, according to experts and analysts, and for the record, you guys, our shout out to Wall Street Trapper, Earn Your Leisure, George Achiampong, anybody else? That's where I get my information from. If I need to know, from the gram. If I need to know what's going on in the money markets and the financial world, that's kind of where we are right now. But I don't know enough to predict a recession. But having survived 2008 to 2010, like for so long, I'm like, it felt like this happened overnight and out of nowhere.
I'm sorry, real quick. When you say you went to bed and woke up was in a recession, can you explain kind of what?
Yeah, so for me, I mean that literally. So left work, we're selling homes. At that time, subprime lending, you could have bad credit and get your house and all that stuff was out. And I literally woke up the next day. I went to work, went to work, and my boss had to have a hard conversation with me. Like
the next day.
Like that's what it felt like. But this is what I'm saying. It's not overnight. It felt like overnight because I didn't know any better, right? What happened was go to work. I remember I wrote like 5 contracts this day. Then the next day, I go into work. All the subprime banks had shut down. They had all been shut down by the government.
Subprime banks?
Yeah, so all of the mortgage companies,
the mortgage lenders.
These are the mortgage lenders. All of the mortgage lenders who were approving these loans for homes. Like you could have a 570 credit score and all this stuff. They had all been shut down. There was like this big mortgage fraud situation, which kind of at that time was the start of all of this. And there were clues. We knew that there were people who were purchasing homes that shouldn't have. We knew that it was driving the economy a certain way. Anyway, so literally I lost my job at that time, literally what felt like overnight. So now I don't have any money saved. And even though I was making $250,000 at that time, I didn't have enough money to last 6 months. So when I lost my job, obviously in the middle of a recession, the job market is at an all-time low, right? So when I lose my job now, there is no job to even just piece things together and get by. And I had accumulated such a high-level lifestyle with this house and this car, and I'm a single mom, and she's in private school and all this stuff. I'd accumulated such a high-level lifestyle that a regular job just wouldn't even do it. It had to be something super high level. And so now that we are approaching what they are guessing to be another one, I think it's a conversation that we should have because there are people who are watching us right now who are doing the same thing who don't see the signs because they don't know what signs to look for.
Right. I would gather in the real estate market, it seems like the recession hit the real estate market, is it first or the hardest or whatever? Because they're just not lending money at that point.
Yeah. Right? Again, I'm not a financial expert. I don't know, but I know that the real estate market is always hit. So the oil industry always goes super high. Real estate mortgages, are always hit. The stock market is always hit.
I want to look at the definition of a recession.
Yeah, let's look at it. What is a recession?
A period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. What is GDP? Anybody know?
Google it.
In economics, a recession is a business cycle contraction when there is a general decline in economic activity. Recessions generally occur when there is a widespread drop of spending.
So GDP is gross domestic product, the standard measure of the value added created through the production of goods and services in a country during a certain period. So I'm assuming it says the GDP goes down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yes. So pretty much it's a recession is a business cycle contraction when there's a general decline in economic activity.
Mm-hmm.
Recession. Okay, so maybe because there was a lot of activity last year, maybe it's a decline because they're not giving as much money out. If they're defining recession as a decline in economic activity. Recessions generally occur when there is a widespread drop in spending, an adverse demand shock. Mm-hmm. This may be triggered by various events, such as a financial crisis, an external trade shock, an adverse supply shock, the bursting of an economic bubble, or a large-scale anthropogenic or natural disaster or pandemic. Mm-hmm. In the United States, it is defined as a significant decline and economic activity has spread across the market, lasting more than a few months?
So I think based on our level of understanding, it's safe to stay away from why the recession is happening and instead focus on what we can do to survive.
You know what it seems like, though? Based on that definition, if a recession is based on a decline in spending, if everybody's talking about there's a recession, naturally, we'll stop spending because we're afraid of something. So are recessions real or are they manufactured?
I think they are factored in, like planned for. So
if we keep saying recession, stop, like,
they kind of have to be manufactured.
They gotta be.
They gotta be manufactured.
Based on the definition?
Yeah. Yeah.
So Joe, you went to a financial analysis, a financial planner.
Yeah.
Yesterday. How'd it go?
It went really good. Because
can you lighten that up?
Because he just kind of opened my mind up to a lot of things I've just never been thinking about. And then as far as like, paying down my car and just kind of paying that off and taking that money, putting it elsewhere, investing in stocks and stuff, I'm like how to invest my money from my vantage point and not, what I see everyone else doing. Because I can invest all money into like, you might give me a tip and say, hey, put it here. Or Donni might say, hey, put it here. But it's like, what is it from my vantage point on how I should invest my money? And like, stages and having certain types of accounts and certain types of emergency funds and stuff like that. Just stuff I never really been thinking about. And because I've just been taught, save here, have an account here, you're good to go. But he's kind of opened my mind up to really just thinking more financially in all of my spending, how I spend, when I spend it, how to like really like map out your spending as far as like, okay, if you want to go on vacation in July, you should start saving for your vacation maybe 2 or 3 months prior to instead of just buying a ticket at random.
Gotcha. So did y'all use the word recession at all in that conversation?
No.
Were you fearful? Like going from that conversation to going on Instagram and all that kind of stuff, hearing about recessions, did it make you fearful?
No.
It didn't make you want to spend less money?
No, it just kind of just made me more so just think on how I'm spending right now. Not even because of the recession, just more so just how I'm personally spending.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Are you in fear of this upcoming recession?
No, because I'm not 100% sure what it is, like globally. So, obviously I've been through one, but like I said, I remember we was working at the Cheesecake Factory. Now, I did have a triplex. Me and my cousin, we invested in a triplex together, but I was living in one of the units and we couldn't sell it because we couldn't have somebody buy it. In that isolation, it just seems like, oh, wow, that sucks. We can't sell this joint. But at the point I'm living in it, and I still got a job, it's not like I was hit hard by the recession because maybe under a certain threshold, it's just like yesterday.
So I lost my home to foreclosure during the recession.
Because what?
Because the home that I purchased was a home that I probably shouldn't have qualified for in the first place. I was living way above my means.
But did anything happen to the mortgage amount? Did it go up or something?
No, the mortgage didn't go up, but I lost my whole income.
So you lost your income because your job was based on you selling houses, which is an effect of...
Yeah, so during the middle of a recession, if people aren't spending, then just like what happened with the pandemic, companies are laying off. So whatever industry you're in, most of them don't really matter. But I was specifically in the real estate industry, which took a huge hit at that time. So I lost my job. Millions of people lost their jobs. So now you've got this big overhead, your lifestyle expenses. You've lost 100% of your salary. And I wasn't saving any money because I was making so much money that it was like, it was like that nightlife lifestyle, kind of how I'm going to spend a check and get it right back. I was doing that. And then literally lost my job. And I'm like, okay, at first, when it first happened, I'm like, okay, well, we'll just go get a different job, maybe a lesser job. I won't make this amount of money, but I'll make at least to cover the bills. And as I'm applying for job after job after job, I remember calling to follow up on applications and companies were saying, oh, we've had to remove the listing. We're not hiring. Check back in a couple of months. And that was happening a lot. And there was always the companies or the industries that'll drive the economy or that'll keep going, like fast food. Those things are available, really low level entry things that I wouldn't even entertain because that amount of money wouldn't have helped me survive and keep up my lifestyle. So I went through a cycle. Like I said, I had about 6 months worth of money to survive. Nothing coming in. I remember even at that time, I was trying to figure out what can I do to make money on my own? How can I just leverage anything? So I started trying to sell. I started with trying to sell like my own things. I had handbags and shoes and really nice designer things. And so eBay was really popular at that time, eBay stores. And I would put these things on eBay and some of the items would sell. But what ends up happening in a recession is everybody's watching their money. So these handbags that would normally sell easily are now on the shelf, so to speak, forever because nobody wants to spend that kind of money. And then you don't want to let it go for like $200 when you're trying to get $2,000 for it. So I ended up losing my house. I couldn't keep up with it. During that time, I tried to sell it.
I understand now.
Yeah, I tried to sell the house. I couldn't sell the house because the housing market was down.
Yo, it finally clicked. So how you hear people, they say they make money in a recession and the price of everything is cheaper. And if you have money prepared, the example of the bag, like you want to get 2,000, but you don't want to sell it for 200.
But you're desperate.
You need that 200.
You're gonna sell it for 200.
That's why everybody that's prepared,
they are ready to come in and buy all those $200 bags. They're ready to come in and buy all of those lots of land that are marked down to a quarter of the price now. They're ready to come in and buy all of the properties that owners are desperate to sell. So the poor person loses the biggest in the recession. Most of the population is what? Poor. Rich people come up in a recession.
Here's the thing. I think it's the middle class that suffers the hardest.
For sure.
I think if you're not like making a lot of money, I don't know if it's going to affect you that much. Because you're probably in a job like lower class. Let's say somebody works at Arby's or Wendy's. They're going to have their job because people are still going to eat. The person that works at, I don't know, Netflix or whatever, they're still going to have a job because people want to still spend that tonight. Well, maybe not.
Well, you're still going to have your job. Everybody gets affected. And the reason being...
The thing, I don't remember. I guess I was affected in terms of we couldn't sell that property, right?
You couldn't sell the property.
I don't remember a period of a extremely declined lifestyle.
Well, so... maybe, but even so, I tried to sell my car, right? Car should have been a no-brainer. Tried to sell the car. Now what the bank wants to offer me for the car is so far beyond beneath what I owe. Now I'm stuck with the car. So they forced me into a repossession at this point. So struggling left and right. But here's what happens. Yes, you have people who are accustomed to not having a lot of money anyway. So it would seem like they're not affected, but they're accustomed to not having a lot of money. They're already making a little bit of money. Meanwhile, the price of food is going to go up. We saw somewhere. Yes. You see how much it costs to get ground beef right now? Like, you can't even make a burger for under $10 at home anymore. Like, the cost of food is going up. And these are things that we don't pay attention to. I literally went to the gas station yesterday.
That's crazy.
I only go to full service gas stations, right? I usually go to full service gas stations and get my tank filled up. I wait until I'm almost on E, get the tank filled up. And it's usually around $85, $90 to fill up my car at the full service pump. Yesterday was $125. I said, what? Poor people who are still making minimum wage, or people who are still making minimum wage, still have to get gas. They still have to eat food. They still have to get places. The cost of the bare essentials always go up during a recession when your income goes down.
Maybe I was just shielded from, I don't know. When I was at the restaurant, it was literally, it didn't change at all.
I think I saw this morning on Instagram that gas somewhere in California has reached $8 a gallon.
That's crazy.
Like, I have never seen, I don't think that's ever happened in my lifetime. I saw that Sierra released a video. She released a new song, and she had this video where she's at a gas station in California, and the gas was like $6.69 at the time that she recorded that video. Like, it's insane. It is really insane. So,
are you worried at all?
No.
What are we gonna do? Like us, I mean, so the people stop investing in coaching and information? Do the companies stop putting money into podcasting? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
Well, what we're not gonna do is
pandemic is different
panic.
because. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Your question.
But I'm saying, wouldn't it be technically the stuff that happened this pandemic doesn't normally happen,
right?
So,
but spending was way up though. Like it was way like. They printed so much money during the pandemic.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe they were trying to put a Band-Aid on...
over it. But we're coming out of a pandemic into a recession where they flooded the economy with money. And not everybody's working. No one's really going for a job right now. So if we do go in a recession, wouldn't it like kind of even it out, technically?
I get what you're saying because now like nobody's at work right now because I don't know why. Don't nobody work. What are y'all doing?
PPP.
But yeah, that was like that was
a while ago. They should be needing money by now.
But some people invested the money. Maybe not everybody.
No. But they're going to come back to work.
Why aren't people at work right now?
We're going to go back to Target and it's about to be jumping. We're going to get all service.
Yo, let me say this. So Wednesday, a couple days ago when we did our last episode, the day that I thought I was feeling amazing, I went to, me and Sarah Fontenot went to Cafe Intermezzo. Fontenot. I always say her name wrong. Me and Sarah went to Cafe Intermezzo.
Listen, if I was going to teach you how to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Like if I had a course teach you how to make $1 million a year positive, you're going to make $1 million, would you give me 10,000? Of course you would. It's no brainer, right? So in a calendar year, we make 7 figures with the podcast. But there's 21 things that I extracted from that you're going to need to launch your podcast. But I only got time to give you 3 right now. One is you need a distribution platform. The distribution platform is what you upload your podcast to. That platform sends it to Spotify, Apple, Google Play, so that your supporters can actually listen to your podcast. You're also going to need a microphone. You need a really good microphone so it's crispy audio. And 3, you need an income strategy. This is not necessarily a hobby, unless you're going to make it a hobby. But I can teach you how I made the 7 figures with these 21 things. Now, the good news is you don't have to give me 10,000. My ebook is only $37, okay? So listen, go to podcastebook.com and get the 21 things that you need. And I can explain it in detail, all the things that you need, okay? Podcastebook.com. Let's get to the episode.
No, because you were so busy. We had gone to Ernestine's event.
Keep going.
That you were an honoree at and you weren't there.
It's my dog.
Yeah. Congratulations on your honor, though.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so
the only reason I didn't go is because we have a 10-day prayer week. So we're in church 5 in the morning and 8 p.m.
I didn't know that.
Every day for 10 days. Yeah, so every day I've been up at 3:45 in the morning.
I wish you would have told me that. I would have joined in prayer. Okay, so this is a little off topic, but this happened during the recession, so it's still kind of valid, right? Okay. So during the recession of 2008 to 2010, I was dating this guy, and he was kind of just like, somebody to date. He was cool. It was a recession. We broke.
Somebody to date. Who's kind of somebody to date?
But he cheated on me so bad. And during the recession, just like the pandemic, when you are kind of like quarantined and in the house, like we're spending all this time together. I'm always at his place and we're spending all this time together. I thought we had a whole full-blown relationship until this girl hits me on Facebook and was like, thought you would want to know that your boyfriend is a new daddy. What?
What?
What? So I'm like, what? So he goes through and he concocts this whole like he pulled no. See, this chick was a smut.
Did he go to recession?
No, this chick was a smut. We ran through her back in the day, blah, 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 blah. Here's the picture of the guy who's actually the father, but he ain't got no money, so she don't want him to be the dad. And he had a little bit of money. And he's like, she just wants me to be the dad. And he put together like nearly this whole PowerPoint presentation about how she was lying. So I'm like, all right, I don't do the back and forth thing, yada, 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 yada. So I ignored her messages. She then sends me a final picture of them from the baby shower. The baby shower.
Oh, you can't deny that.
You can't. So
Photoshop wasn't even that lit.
Photoshop. This is not a Canva creation, okay? So she sends me a picture from the baby shower. And so I'm done with him. Like, I was crushed. I was hurt. I'm broke. I'm going through it. I don't have no job. I don't have no money. And now I don't even have a man. So I have not seen him.
Hold on, real quick. You know what I thought the story was going to end up with? Because you were going through a recession, you stayed.
No.
I thought that's where she was going. Like, yo, it's a recession, so I had to do what I had to do.
No. So we end up breaking up. And I have seen him on the social media streets, throughout the years. No, but this is a guy who was, at that time, well-connected in the music industry. And he was, styling everybody. And he's got money and he's the man. No. Anyway, so this is nobody you guys will know. No. So he's like the man. So I have seen him over the years in the social media streets still perpetuating this image. Well, here we are on the onset of a new recession, and me and Sarah are going to Cafe Intermezzo, and I pull up at the Lowe's Hotel to valet park. Guess who's coming out to valet my car?
No way!
Yes way!
What? You were loving it too. You were loving it. Yes, I know Donni.
So I pull up.
She probably left like a little, the band that come on, like the 10,000 joints, just leave it in a cup holder.
He's walking from this way, and I'm in the mirror, like getting myself together, and I look up, and I'm like, "Is that?" And he sees me. He meets my eyes, and he's like. He comes around to the car.
Because I know you only date 5
He is not fine at all anymore, right? Times have hit him. Things have happened. He's evolved in a different way. And he comes
I'm sorry.
He comes around to the car and he said, I'm getting out of the car. And he's like, man, you look amazing. We've got so much to catch up on. Clearly, there's still something there. Sir, ain't nothing there. If there was a there, it's nothing.
It's not even a there.
It's not a there. There is no destination here, right? But it was so funny. And wow. I wanted to really, really gloat. I didn't. I believe he was embarrassed, but I didn't feel bad because he did me so dirty. It was kind of like, it was my get, because I don't get back at people, right? I don't like do anything to get revenge. And that moment just kind of made that moment full circle for me, because I don't have too many experiences with other women. So that experience for me was so like, are we kidding each other right now? And this was like my get back. Anyway, when I came out, he's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave your car. I said, can you leave my car parked up front, please? And he's like, yeah, I'll leave you right here parked up front. I came out after Intermezzo and I'm looking for him to get my keys, and his coworker comes out with the key. And I'm like, how'd you know it was me? He's like, oh, he said that you'd be wearing this green dress. And I'm like, oh, did he leave? I wanted to make sure to send him a Cash App.
So the only reason you didn't gloat is because he wasn't there.
He wasn't there. But win for all the girls who had ever been cheated on by these people with money who think they can treat women any kind of way.
Wow.
Sometimes they end up being your valet parker.
Oh my goodness. Mm-hmm. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. It's a funny story, but that is real.
That is real.
Like no matter. All right, so now am I nervous? Can I? I don't know. No, not like that. But I'm saying I'm still in good graces at the Cheesecake Factory. I didn't leave. I didn't storm out. I think I could probably go back and get a job if I needed one. But what's going to happen are people going to stop consuming content? Well, and maybe they don't stop consuming it, but then we get less ads. We get less revenue into the podcast.
Mm-hmm. But
my wife looked at me the other day, and we was on our way, and she said, do we have enough money to get through the recession? And I looked at her like, I kind of laughed. I'm like, what are you talking about? But in somewhat of an arrogant way. But now that I think about my man Valet, we're gonna call him Valet. Think about my man Valet, it could happen to anybody.
It could happen to anybody at any time. I mean, we see this happen.
Are you gonna lose all your coaching clients?
No.
Are people gonna still invest in post-to-paid?
So the thing is, I had these thoughts during the pandemic. So one of the struggles that I have, quite like Reese, is what's really going to be the difference? Like during the pandemic,
they printed trillions of dollars.
But more people were laid off in our lifetime than ever before. They did print all this money, but are they not going to do the same thing?
No, they can't pop, and I'm saying it
like with absolute certainty.
Yeah, like I'm an analyst. But it seems like they shouldn't have done that the first time, because now it weakens the like if there's more money in circulation, of course everything goes up. And now that everything goes up, it's not like bread goes up and then bread goes down. It seems like when bread goes up, it goes up. When milk goes up,
it stays there. This is milk.
But now there's not as much money being printed.
Mm-hmm.
So the people who were in that situation before, now they just have to pay more for the things that they need.
So I think, especially for entrepreneurs, this is probably going to be a season where we have to really, we have to enter a season of collaboration, right? Like, how can we support each other through the economy? And just, for people who are not entrepreneurs or people who don't have consistent incomes yet, as an entrepreneur, this is your time to really, really, really analyze where you are in your life right now. Like, what expenses can you cut back on? Like, don't wait for the recession to come. By the time it gets here, typically it's too late. So we have everybody saying that the recession is coming. It's on its way. We can start doing some things right now.
I hate this.
You need to take that call?
I got this article, 13 steps to recession proofing your finances. So, but how I hate these websites where you can't find the rest of it. It's like mad advertisement.
Next.
Okay. All right, cool. I'll go through it, but finish.
All right.
This is gonna be
good. This is the time where we really have to do a serious audit. We have to have some tough conversations with our family. This is where you want to start looking at your money. Like, how much money do I have right now? And where am I spending extras? This might be the time where we have to get rid of the Disney Plus and say, hey, we got to choose between Netflix, Hulu, or Disney Plus. We can't have them all. And get out of the mindset of, it's just $13 a month. That $13 a month is going to add up for you. This is where you want to go through your credit card statement, and you want to make sure that you don't have subscriptions just kind of lingering, around, and you end up like paying an extra $300 a month in subscriptions that you don't even use anymore. This is where you want to maybe start carpooling and not going across town as much. Like, I am quick to just drive back and forth across town. The $125 that I spent yesterday on gas, put that in reality check, right? Social Proof Podcast might become virtual for a little while. Like, we don't know.
Yeah, and I've been driving around. I drove the truck today, but I've been driving around in that sedan, that 2016 Lexus lately.
Yes.
Man, fill that thing up. You could drive all week.
Listen, I have a standing...
All week.
I have a standing hair appointment every single week. Maybe I need to get back and go to the beauty supply store and stock up on some shampoo and conditioner. Like, or hats. Like, these are things that we have to start doing right now. But I think that the person who's going to be the most set apart, though, to surviving this pandemic is the person who seeks information.
Not pandemic, recession.
did I say pandemic? Recession is the person who starts to seek information now to figure out how you can make money on your own. Because whether they're printing more money or not, people still have money. People still have money. The economy is still going to move, and people still have money to invest in spending themselves. How do you enter an industry that's a need, that's needed?
Meaning, still pay us for coaching, okay?
Yeah, still get your coaching and your education. Like, if this is a need for you. So, as an entrepreneur, if you're only selling, things that, I don't know, something, if you're only selling these things as an entrepreneur, this might not get you through the pandemic or through the recession because this is not attached to a need. What can you do instead that absolutely is attached to a need? So during the recession times, I know a lot of people are affected with their mental health. So are you someone right now who maybe you're working a job and one of your strong suits is helping people out with their mental health? This might be your time to shine. As an entrepreneur, people suffer from like weight loss, weight gain, whatever the case may be. This might be your time to shine. Depression, this might be your time to shine. Accountability, this might be your time to shine. Like, start thinking in those directions and figure something out.
Absolutely. I got this little list. It says 13 steps to recession proofing your finances. I think this first one's really good. It says eliminate your debt. So I think you're on the money saying, yo, we need to prepare. Like whatever you have, while you have some money, I think Joe was talking about it. While you have some money right now, before it gets like scary times, I suppose, find out what you owe and pay it off. Just find out what you owe and pay it. I had like a few $1,000s left on my car and I paid it off to 2016. I don't owe anything on it. So if something happens, only thing I have to worry about is not a car note, but maintenance.
Yeah.
I ain't got to drive nothing fly, which leads me to the next point. There's a lot of Lambos bought in 20.
It's a whole lot of Lambos about to be sitting on mom and pop lots.
Bunch of Bentleys got bought. Bunch of Rolls Royce got bought during the pandemic.
The responsible side of that is now, like, look, the recession happens. It's not happening to you. It's happening to the world. Ask yourself, like, it's literally a question that I ask myself. Do I need my car? I don't really drive places. I come here every single week. I don't really drive a lot other than that. Do I really need the car? So so what I'm going to do for the next, a recession, like, can you see how long does a recession typically last?
Okay, because it's going to take me out of where I was going.
Just go to a new window.
I go to a new window.
The multitasking function on the iPhone, super clutch.
How long does a
It says between recession. 8 and 18 months.
8 and 18 months?
Within the average spanning about 11 months.
Okay, so if the average cycle of a recession is about 12 months, let's calculate what it costs you to survive at the level of your lifestyle right now.
18 months.
11 months. We're gonna do a year. Let's just do a year. Okay. What it costs you to live.
Joe, what's it cost?
Me to live? For me to live, it costs me about $2,500 a month.
$2,500 a month?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I don't have very high expenses.
You outside. You prime and ready for a wife, man.
So you need $30,000.
Yeah, I mean,
you're good. You can flow through the recession.
Yeah, my last job, I was making like 34.
No, but no, not what you're making.
You understand? Like, if I survive, I've learned to survive off of that. And
no.
Go ahead.
She's saying, so it's one thing to make 30-something thousand.
Right.
But if a recession hits, you have 30,000 to, if everything went away.
You'll be good. You got $30,000. Lifestyle's paid for. When the market comes back, you're back to normal.
I'm not gonna let you go, Joe.
Nah. I'm not. I got some stuff stashed up though.
Just in case something happens.
But something that happens, I'll probably be good for like a good 6 months.
What? What? Something happened to me? You know what I mean? I
got a policy on you. No play.
So you need 30 grand, Reese. What you need? What you need to survive? Which is number two, which I'm going to get to number two. Calculate essential monthly expenses. This is a good little list so far. Calculate essential monthly expenses.
I said that first, though.
But the list.
But I said it.
But the list, though.
I am the list.
It's a little list.
It's a little list.
We got a little list here.
Airdrop the link to that list.
This is a dope little list.
So calculate what your expenses are and what you need to survive.
Yeah.
And then do that times 12. Do you have that?
And then get some funding right now.
So,
just in case.
And get some funding right now because funding options are probably going to go away.
Yeah, they're giving away a lot of money right now.
Funding options.
Okay, so this is what I want to understand. And maybe we need to get a financial analyst here. They can hit you up so they can be on here. Why does it seem like they keep giving more money away? Like these companies are not afraid of the recession.
I want to invite you to pick my brain.
Mine too. Mine too.
Yours too?
Mine too.
Yours too.
They
Okay, you guys. We are so excited because we just dropped our newest podcast series called the Brain Picker Podcast. David.
Oh, it's going down. You get to pick our brain. You have a business idea, a concept. You're stuck. You can't get off the ground. You need the advice of seasoned, experienced entrepreneurs. Not only entrepreneurs that are practitioners, but we got a lot of people that we've been coaching all over the last decade.
All over the globe.
That got receipts.
Not just that, you never know where your next investor might be hanging out. And the word on the street is we got all the connections.
That's a big fact.
We got all the connections. So if you want to sit down with us and pick our brains.
In front of our audience.
And we're letting you pick our brains. We won't even talk bad about you for doing it in front of our audience, bringing your business maximum exposure. Find the link somewhere around here, wherever you see it.
It's there.
And apply
right now
to pick our brain.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Bailouts.
They give away a bunch of money.
A lot of companies get bailouts. Like, when Ford had fell into that big crisis some years ago, Obama bailed them out.
Yeah, but it's not like these funding companies are just regular banks.
Yeah, these are just regular banks that are giving money.
It seems like
it's got to be something behind it if they're feeling so freely to give this money away, because like you said, they are giving money away.
Well, I also know that some of the majority of the funding companies that I'm attached to are not located in the United States. So the recession may not be something that they're thinking about.
So recessions so we had a worldwide pandemic. Recessions aren't worldwide. It's just
I don't know. Let's look that up. Google.
I love the fact that we're learning on the fly.
Yeah. Let's look that up.
Hey, listen, y'all, we are all learning with you, okay?
We import
make sure
everything.
you can hear it. Can you hear him? Okay. Go ahead.
We import everything. Mm-hmm. Like all of our stuff is coming from other countries. So they're not coming to us to get anything to where it would be affected. Like China's not waiting for us to ship out toilet paper or something like that.
There's no product to say made in the USA.
Yeah. So if we're going through a pandemic, they don't care. We don't have anything that they're ordering from us.
That's real. All right. So
it says that
there are global.
They're global ones, but the last one was in 2009, and I guess it only happens when there's a world war. Yeah.
Here's one that we haven't talked about.
There have only been 4 global recessions.
Here's one we haven't talked about. Number 3, build an emergency recession fund.
Yep. Well, kind of. We just did.
So 1, eliminate debt.
Calculate your expenses. And do we have enough money or can we access funding to get it? But seriously, they are giving, even if you think you don't qualify for funding, you need to apply for funding because they are giving money away. And funding usually is attached with ridiculous payback terms, right? But with certain types of funding, you just get the money. You don't have to use it. You just have it as a safety net. In fact, I have 2 funding options available for $125,000 a piece that I'm going to go today.
You just want to go get it?
And I'm going to go get that.
Do they give you the money?
So not really. One of them, they don't give you.
Because I'd imagine if they say, yo, you got this X amount line of credit, and then once the recession hit...
Yeah. One of them gives you the money. And the thing is, I'm not using the money unless I have to. So I'll start paying back whatever the terms are from the money that they gave me. Yeah. And then the idea is you just make more money and pay it off before you end up paying all this interest. But all you need really is 12 months. And I hate to say all you need because it's so insensitive, right? To people who are like, all I need is this month, let alone 12. But seriously, all you need is 12 months. Where can we get 12 months worth of this of living expenses?
Okay, I'm in a different position. No, well, so I have living expenses and then I have expenses. So like that, like the payroll.
Well, yeah.
Is
it's a whole different deal. So you have to when I'm thinking about me and how to survive, I'm thinking about my business are my living expenses. Like all of that. Like my rent, my mom's mortgage, my daughter's stuff, my business. I have to think about all of that. And then now as an employer, you're in a situation, because we're both employers at this point, we're in situations where we got people who are depending on us throughout a recession.
And Joe looked me in my eyes when you say that.
You got to make some decisions. So as an employer, as an entrepreneur who's also an employer, you also have to make some decisions. And now is the time to start thinking about it and having these conversations, because one, you don't want to be in a position where your team is afraid because they don't know what to think and then they're leaving and you don't have the infrastructure now that you need to continue to build your business.
Don't worry, guys. I got y'all for the next year and a half.
But at the same time, you still have to run a business and provide for yourself. So do you now have to start looking at and saying, can I cut back? Like there are companies who will go and say, hey, we got to do some cutbacks financially. Like we would you guys rather we do layoffs and some of you are safe at your current salary, or would you rather share the burden of the recession and we cut back on what each person is paid?
Mm-hmm. Number 4 is really dope. I like this. It says, don't stop networking. Okay. I'm going to read a little bit. It says, businesses have to tighten their belts during a recession, and that could mean laying off a considerable portion of the workforce. If you find yourself without work when the economy goes south, you can still rely on your industry contacts for the light, for that light at the end of the tunnel. Company functions and parties are the perfect time to mingle with colleagues and build a decent list of industry contacts. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself and even exchange a few business cards. Those friendly acquaintances could end up being a lifeline when work is scarce. That is a bar.
That is a bar. That sounds more like, don't be afraid to network. I think one of the most dangerous things that can happen when we're going through something, especially financially, is to be alone with our own thoughts for too long. And sometimes just knowing that other people are experiencing what you're experiencing and you guys are having constructive, progressive conversations about it can be all the difference in you surviving.
Yeah. In addition to, like, let's say there's networking situation and someone's business goes bad and this person gets fired. But the fact that they super cool with Donni, your business might be thriving and you could say, all right, come on, I got you, because you were networking.
Yeah.
That is a major gem right there.
That is major.
Golly.
So then essentially make a list of all of your resources, all of your people resources. Who are the people that you know that are in a position to, if you need to reach out to a lifeline, you can reach out, but start having those conversations now, because if they're a lifeline for you, they're a lifeline for some other people too.
100%. And I just want to cite this list that we're giving us on Facty, Facty, F-A-C-T-Y, Facty. I want to give them credit. All right, number 5, start a side hustle, meaning hire a coach. Right? We're trying to save our businesses here, okay? Start a side
hustle for sure.
Yep. Yeah. Like while you have a business, start a side hustle, start getting that money, and that could be the money you put aside.
And this is the time for a lot of you high ticket only people to consider introducing something low ticket to kind of buffer. So if you only have high ticket services, this might be the time where you want to build a community that might only be $25, $35, $45 a month. Yep. Things that people, or at a price point where people can still hold on to it, and you fulfilled a need for them. Like they need to be in this group because for whatever reason, this group is getting them through this recession.
Exactly.
Do something there, and that's going to prove as a buffer to help you out with your finances during that time.
Probably, okay, take this note, y'all. I would say this is probably the most important part of this interview, this episode. To Donnie's point, you should probably join the morning meetup, themorningmeetup.com. Just download the app because you need that community of people. We meet every day and we need to get through this together. So sign up.
Actionable CEO also drops next week. Actionable CEO also drops next week. Personal development for entrepreneurs. So let's get that.
Number 6, live within your means.
Yes.
Live within your means. And you won't
Are
know
you
your
living
means.
within your means?
Absolutely.
You don't believe you're living a little above your means?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Why do you say that?
I was just looking. You look like you're living in your means.
What's up with you? Why are you attacking me in front of my children?
I am in front of the babies.
Don't let them talk about that.
No, you look like you're living,
I am though.
Mhm.
Because, so a couple of my friends like, you gotta get you a foreign. No, I don't need that.
It's not within the means right now.
Like my house is modest.
You have a nice home.
Yeah, but it's modest. It ain't what I've been looking for.
You've been looking?
I've been looking. But we're gonna wait until this recession hit and so we can get some houses pennies on the dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Just preparing ourselves.
Okay.
But yeah, like I don't, pretty much all my money goes into ways to make money.
Yeah.
I invest a large portion of money into my business. Is she wearing a hoodie? What is she wearing? What is she wearing? Oh, never mind. I'm bugging. I'm looking at something different. All my money goes into the business, like trying to figure out a way to make my business more efficient so we can make more money.
One thing that I have to say, one key.
And I slow down on ordering appetizers with every meal and dessert. I just go in, get a drink, meal. Practicing for the recession.
Guys, I cannot stress enough, one thing that absolutely crippled me in the last recession of 2008 to 2010, pay off your credit card debt.
Mm-hmm.
Pay off your...
Number 1.
Was it?
Yeah, stop trying to act like Facty got it.
Let me tell you guys this. Pay off your credit card debt because what's going to happen is you're going to want to leverage your credit during the recession, right?
That's good.
You're going to want to leverage your credit during the recession, hold on to some of your cash as much as possible. And then what's going to end up happening is, depending on how long we're in it, you may start paying these minimum balances. And then when we're on the other side of the recession, you have leveraged your credit and maxed it out, or you're late having payments. So now you're coming out of the recession, building financially, but you also now are crippled from a credit perspective, and your options will be significantly limited. So let's get those credit cards. I would say do that like first.
That's a play.
Get those credit cards paid down right now so you can leverage them when you have to, because you will have to. But we don't want to get through this recession period and then you come out with jacked up credit on the other side too.
Number 7 is going to be a conversation, and it's like, and I'll read it. It's only 2 sentences, long sentences, but number 7 is lower expectations.
Okay.
You're gonna give it a chance before you judge it, or?
I want to hear what we're talking about.
Okay. Having it all is mostly a myth that few attain. You may need to adjust your expectations of what can be achieved in terms of saving and investment during a recession. And purchasing some big ticket items may need to be deferred until the economy picks up again. Do a little soul searching and set some priorities.
I feel that. But then that also conflicts directly with like sweeping up everything you can get during the recession.
Yeah. Lower your expectations. I expect to still be able to handle business.
I don't know what to expect because I'm in such a different position this time around than I was the last time.
But I think it's even more dangerous now. Because we have a lot more going out.
Yeah.
It's a lot more going out.
For sure. But I mean, it's relative, right? What I had going out at that time was based on what I had coming in. What I have going out this time is based on what I have coming in. Listen, if I have to cut things off, I am not too proud. If I have to cut things out, they're out.
A little bit.
I am not too proud. I will get rid of all this stuff.
Come on, yo. Listen.
The
Donni,
rollie, the car,
Let's go back to valet. Let's go back to my man
I am
valet.
not too proud. Because I know how to get it all right back. So I am not so proud that I have to hold on to things and lifestyle during a recession if it's killing me. I know how to get it all right back after. I will get it back. Period. So, I don't expect. Now, here's the thing. I am not going in with the expectation that I have to get rid of anything. I hope that I've made enough financial decisions and I have enough money saved and available to get through it. I don't want to have to do that. But what I'm saying is I am not going to let financial stress eat me alive ever again in my life. I will liquidate everything.
Yo, if I go back to Cheesecake Factory, I'm sure I can get you a job.
And I'll be right there. Do we eat for free?
Yeah, we get these little green tickets.
It's a wrap. Let's get it.
We'll kill it.
All I got to do is, what? We will be the new training department.
100%. I'll be coaching my tables. You feel me? Like,
tips would be lit.
Right. Number 8, start investing in the stock market.
I don't know about that one.
We'll just go to number 9.
The stock market just scares me so much. Yeah. And I know that there's somebody who's a financial expert that's like, well, what? But it does. I just don't. That's what I was about to say. I just don't participate in things that I don't understand in. I'll learn if I'm interested. So I'm interested in learning about the stock market. Somebody please teach me, because Trap has been supposing to teach me now for like 2 years. So somebody teach me, and I'm interested in learning. But at this point, I don't have enough understanding to say that's where I'm going to shelter my money.
Gotcha. Number 9, educate yourself on finance.
Yes.
Let me read a little bit. While there are professionals out there to guide you on your financial journey, you should still keep up with the financial news of the day. Look for articles that focus on stock trends and predictions, and take notes on how world events or social issues affect market prices. Don't rely on the experts to do the work for you. One of the best investments you can make is in educating yourself. Meaning, you should buy my course.
You should buy my course. You should join my coaching program.
There's a whole ad of us trying to make
you guys, we're straight. Because if we're straight, you're straight. Guys, that is so irresponsible. That is not what we're doing. We are seriously having a responsible conversation to make sure you survive the recession.
100%.
We all got to survive this thing. Jesus Christ.
Number 10, diversify your portfolio. I mean, it goes without saying. Yeah. I mean, some people don't have a portfolio, so you need to create. I think for like, let's people that are, listening to it from a very novice perspective, you need to start a portfolio. And even the little bit that you have, it's a portfolio. I mean, you have a job. Your job, in my opinion, is a part of your portfolio. It's your financial picture, your job, the person that you lent money to. Like, it's a portfolio. And in your portfolio, you can go to your closet and just calculate all the sneakers. It's a part of your portfolio, your whole financial picture. I think it's important to at least have some sort of understanding of where you are financially.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but if you don't have a portfolio to diversify, let's start one.
Your closet versus your bank account will tell you a whole lot that you need to know about yourself financially.
Yeah. 11, focus on the big picture. Preparing emergency savings and paying off debts is sound advice, but other aspects of preserving your finances may not be so straightforward. The stock market is a volatile creature, and during a recession, you might notice your earnings diminish at an alarming rate. The stock market can fall 40%. I don't know what they're trying to. First, you're saying like diversify your portfolio, then look into the stock market. But if you don't know nothing about the stock market, you can lose all your money.
You could. But also, during a recession is where millionaires and billionaires are created.
That's a fact.
And it's highly related to the stock market.
Yeah.
And I wish I understood how to do that.
Yeah, me too. 12, identify support systems. Not just personal or family support, but what community programs are available to help during the...
Actionable CEO is a community program that will be available to you. The Morning Meetup is a community program that will be available.
This is the sleaziest episode we've ever created.
We're just joking. Guys, we're making fun of what can potentially be a really rough time. Okay, that's what we're doing.
And Donni doesn't want to go through this rough time, so you need to. I think you'll know us enough to know, but you can't enjoy the morning meetup though. Like, I mean, because we're a dope support system. We're a community.
Let me say this though. I think that I believe that the highest number, the suicide rate is at its highest during pandemics and recessions.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So seriously, free community, paid community, any community, be around people. That's like, if I had to say the number one thing, that is the number one thing. Make sure you have a community around you. This is not the time to be banking on isolation and, self-work by yourself. Obviously that's always a thing, but this is not the time where you go into your cave. You need people around you.
So is the world going to go on sale?
Is the world going on sale? Yeah,
Reese,
right.
Are you prepared for the world to go on sale? Are you prepared to take advantage of opportunity? Make sure your mic is on. So what?
Fully, no. If I were to be honest, fully, no. But I have ways of making sure I am when it happens. My credit is where it needs to be. If anything, I have an extra house that I have that I'm renting out. I have my cars. Like, I'm not like fully like, if I were to say yes, 100%, I'm ready, I'll be lying. But I'm resourceful, and I know a lot of people too. So.
Yeah.
I really think Reese like rich a little bit on the low.
He reminds me of like Batman.
Check this out. Wait till that.
He's like the guy who has like the Bat Cave with the special car behind us and the butler and all of that. But on the streets, he's just a regular old dude.
Yeah, but you could tell like he got the craziest shoe collection. Like we was talking about, he got a bunch of cars in Las Vegas. And here's what did it. So I'm we're about to take a trip.
Cute.
We're about to take a trip.
Where you going?
I don't know. I don't know where we were going. Maybe LA or something like that.
Oh, this is a previous trip. Okay.
So I said, I hit Reese like, yo, where you at? Because I'm in the lounge. I mean, I'm in the Delta Sky Lounge.
Okay.
You feel me?
Uh-huh.
So I'm in Reese like, yo, where you at, man?
Let me get you in.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll get you in. You feel me? Like, they got snacks. I want to educate them a little bit. They got food, some drinks.
Give you some lifestyle.
Yeah, they got some good Wi-Fi in that joint. You know what I mean?
Fast.
So he texted me. He said, I'm in the lounge. He said, what? I said, what lounge? I was thinking you meant like at the terminal lounging.
Chilling.
Yo, my man Reese pulled up on me. He's like, I got my own
platinum card.
Don't play with me.
Don't do me.
Yeah, rich Reese. He rich on the low. Last, look to barter in alternative markets. As a way of cutting expenses, look to community platforms like the morning meetup, like the morning meetup for lower costs, or in some cases, free used goods. For home renovations projects, can you salvage from a work site or salvage yard? You should join the morning meetup so that you can what is this word? So you can barter with other people in the community to make sure you have what you need.
That was the last one?
Shouts out to Fat.
I have a last one that I think is really important. This is not the time to be breaking up with assets. This is not the time to be breaking up with assets, but get rid of those liabilities.
It's time to humble yourself,
sis. It's time to humble yourself, sis. Or bro, whatever. Bro. This is the time for assets to unite. Assets link up. Get these liabilities out your life. Look, you got somebody on your phone. They're an asset. You're not sure about them. Mm-hmm. We're about to enter a recession.
Just reply a little graciously.
Reply and text back just a little quicker. You know what I mean?
Vent to your homegirls.
Vent to your homegirl.
Or your homeboys, but don't vent.
Don't fumble the asset, okay? Don't fumble the asset. At the same time, if you are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, unsure about potential liability, let's go ahead and clear those out right away. They are not going to help you through this recession. They are going to hurt you through this recession, okay? Assets link up.
That was a funny ending to recession advice. Stay in the house where the heat is on. You know what I mean? It's cold out.
If he keep a full fridge, sis. Listen, somebody who's whining and dining you on a regular basis knows how to keep a refrigerator stocked up. No, seriously, don't fumble your assets right now.
Listen, man, we are out of here, man. This is a good episode.
This was a good episode.
Absolutely. I should name this Recession Proof so that we can kind of steal some of Marcus's audience.
First of all, you are not going to feature her with her nose looking like that.
Wipe her nose. Look at her nose. Get the wet wipe. Her nose looks crazy.
We are not featuring her on the #1 podcast for entrepreneurship in the world with her nose looking like this.
The bun is different.
Her hair is fine.
No, it's
not.
It's
that nose.
I be trying to take it out the bun, just make it like just a little fro. But then Dre says she looks like a little boy. All right, so this episode is sponsored by The Morning Meetup that Faxi recommended. Go to themorningmeetup.com and join our community. It is the #1 community for entrepreneurs. Literally hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs in one community banding together to make sure that we're all okay together, okay? Hundreds of people on one call every single morning, Monday through Friday. It's only $79 a month. Right now, we have a special where you get 60% off for the year, okay? You will be able to join this community, grow with the community, be able to take advantage of the resources from the community. Everything in the community is on discount, on sale. If you see me offering something to the public, my community probably already got it earlier than you, or they got it at a severely lower discount than you, okay? Actually, we got in there a content creation course that I sell for $1,000. My community just gets it for free. So join the Morning Meetup, themorningmeetup.com, or download the app. You can go to your app store and download The Morning Meetup app on your iOS or Android device, all right?
This episode is also brought to you by the time you guys see this, Actionable CEO. We are so excited to finally be launching a professional and personal development space for entrepreneurs. You guys can get more information about that at actionableceo.com. And just to keep it really easy, I have a bunch of options and resources for entrepreneurs, especially those of you who may be worried about what your future looks like as an entrepreneur. Just go to my website, sixfigureedu.com, sixfigureedu.com, or actionableceo.com. And we have a bunch of available resources for you to make sure that you can, #1, become an entrepreneur, remain an entrepreneur, and survive this mysterious recession that's supposed to be coming next. So, you guys, I am Donni. This is Dave.
That's Sarai.
This is Sarai.
Yeah.
Hey, sweet baby.
Look at the camera.
Look, Sarai.
What? Cute.
Look.
Yeah.
Hi. Say hi. Say hello.
Hi.
Say hi. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye-bye.
Like, subscribe, follow us, all right? We got it.